Welcome to Along Two Rivers, the Hairston story in North Carolina. Along the Dan and Yadkin rivers, generations of lives were bound together by land, labor, family, faith, survival, and freedom. From Sauratown to Cooleemee, we journey through the Hairston plantation network and discover the people whose lives shaped communities and created a legacy reaching far beyond North Carolina. I'm Spencer McCall Jr., and I invite you to join me as we follow the rivers, uncover the people, and tell the Hairston story. Perhaps you have visited Baileytown, Pine Hall, Dry Hollow, or Petersville, or passed Otis L. Hairston Middle School or Diggs Hairston Residence Hall and wondered about their origins. Perhaps you heard about Dr. Rufus Hairston, Dr. J.W. Hairston, Buffalo Soldier Thomas Robert Taylor, Harlem Hellfighter Tyler W. Taylor, or Dr. Bonita Hairston Brown, Chancellor of Winston-Salem State University. Their stories share a remarkable beginning, the Hairston plantations of North Carolina. Long before plantations, Upper Sauratown was a thriving native homeland along the Dan River. The Saura built a palisaded village, raised corn, beans, squash, and peaches, hunted, traded, and honored this sacred landscape. For generations, this community connected the Saura people to the river, the land, and neighboring native nations. Before it became a Perkins tract or a Hairston plantation, this was Upper Sauratown, a native homeland, farming community, trading center, and sacred landscape along the Dan River. The young, high-status Saura woman uncovered near today's Pine Hall community reflects that history. After the Saura departed, Peter Perkins acquired the tract and transferred it to Peter Hairston in 1786. Colonel Sauratown Peter Hairston was born in 1752 to Robert and Ruth Stovall Hairston. During the American Revolution, he participated in the 1776 campaign against the Cherokee, the First Battle of Shaliford, and, as a captain, the Battle of Guilford Courthouse. He married Alcee Perkins in 1782 and moved with her and their daughter Ruth to Upper Sauratown in 1786. Hairston became a planter, merchant, iron manufacturer, and North Carolina state senator. With Alcee, he had one daughter. He also fathered at least 7 children with Sally Blagg, a woman he enslaved. In 1817, he purchased the 2,300-acre Cooleemee plantation. By his death in 1832, he controlled more than 12,000 acres, and his wealth and enterprises depended upon the labor of hundreds of enslaved people. Peter Wilson Hairston was born in 1819 to Samuel Hairston and Agnes John Peter Wilson. In 1832, at only 13 years old, he inherited the 2,300-acre Cooleemee plantation from his great-grandfather, Peter Hairston. Educated at Bingham School, UNC, and the University of Virginia Law School, he continued overseeing Cooleemee throughout his studies. He married Columbia Lafayette Stewart in 1849 and, after her death, Fanny Caldwell in 1859. During the Civil War, he served as a Confederate aide while helping manage family estates worked by approximately 4,000 enslaved people. At Cooleemee, nearly 300 enslaved men, women, and children produced tobacco, cotton, and livestock and helped build its Greek Revival mansion. After emancipation, many remained as paid agricultural workers. North Carolina's Hairston plantations were important not only to their white owners, but also to the enslaved people who labored there, formed families, built communities, and created histories carried forward by freed people and their descendants. Riley Hairston, a prominent barber from Lexington with deep ties to Cooleemee, was invited back, along with other black Hairstons, when Peter Wilson Hairston Jr. and his bride returned from their honeymoon. After free Cooleemee descendants continued returning for decades, sometimes spending summer vacations in the former cabins where their enslaved ancestors had once lived. These stories show how Cooleemee and the NC Hairston plantations remained part of black Hairston memory, identity, family connection, and belonging long after emancipation. The major Hairston Sauratown network consisted of 6 plantations. Bamberg, also known as Home Place, the site of the Sauratown Plantation House and Cemetery, was located near Southern, Old Town, and Shoebuckle. Ballew's Creek was approximately 5 miles away, while Muddy Creek was about 6 miles from Ballew's Creek and 11 miles from Home Place. Together, these properties formed one interconnected plantation network. However, the Sauratown network did not exist in isolations. It was directly connected to the Hairston plantations of Virginia and later gave rise to the Cooleemee plantation in Davie and Davidson counties, North Carolina. Through the forced movement and dispersal of enslaved people, the genealogical and DNA footprint of this network also extended into nearby Rockingham County. And follow the rivers, and you will find the family. The Dan and Yadkin are 2 great river systems flowing through North Carolina's Piedmont. In earlier times, they served as routes for travel and trade, while their valleys provided fertile land for growing crops. These rivers helped shape the Hairston plantation network. Along the Dan River, the Sauratown network took root. Farther south, along the Yadkin River, Cooleemee extended that network into Davie and Davidson counties. Two rivers, connecting land, labor, communities, and generations of the Hairston story. The Hairston's North Carolina plantation network stretched south from Virginia through the Dan and Yadkin River valleys. The Sauratown network extended from southeastern Stokes County into neighboring Rockingham and Forsyth counties, where it bordered the Moravians' vast Wachovia tract. Farther south, the network continued along both sides of the Yadkin River into Davie and Davidson counties, where Cooleemee Plantation was located. In 1786, Peter Hairston established Sauratown Plantation in present-day Stokes County. Known as Sauratown Peter, he expanded his holdings across Virginia and North Carolina through land purchases and his marriage into the Perkins family. Sauratown became the center of a regional plantation network, yet its history belongs equally to the enslaved people, whose labor, skills, families, and communities sustained it across generations. Shoebuckle Plantation began with Absalom Bostick, who settled along both sides of the Dan River after moving from Virginia to North Carolina. Located in present-day Sauratown Township, the property later became part of Stokes County. After Bostick's death, Peter Hairston, who lived from 1752 to 1832, purchased Shoebuckle in 1805. The plantation then became an important part of the larger Hairston-Sauratown network. Shoebuckle Plantation took its name from a distinctive curve in the Dan River that resembles a shoebuckle near where Town Creek enters the river. Peter Hairston purchased the property in 1804, and it remained in the Hairston and Klutz families for more than 2 centuries. Today, part of the former plantation is occupied by the Pine Hall community. Piedmont Land Conservancy has acquired 848 acres for preservation as the region's first educational state forest, with future river access and a segment of the Mountains to Sea Trail. Belews Creek lies near the meeting point of Stokes, Rockingham, Forsyth, and Guilford counties. Within this area stood Little Egypt, a historic black farming community deeply connected to the land and the Hairston family. Families built farms, churches, cemeteries, and lasting community bonds here. Many were later displaced when Belews Lake was created for the Belews Creek Steam Station. Little Egypt was a historic black farming community at the crossroads of Forsyth, Stokes, Rockingham, and Guilford counties. After emancipation, its families built lives through land ownership, farming, faith, and education. By 1919, the Hairston School served local black children. The Belews Creek community is also remembered as the birthplace of composer Chester Hairston. Much of Little Egypt was displaced when Belews Lake was created in the early 1970s. Muddy Creek was the most distant of the 6 primary Hairston plantations connected to Sauratown. It was the only one located entirely in Forsyth County, just outside Winston-Salem, although portions of Belews Creek also extended into Forsyth County. The plantation contained more than 1,000 acres near Kernersville. On December 17, 1888, the estate of Peter W. Hairston offered it for public sale. Old Town was one of the 6 primary Hairston plantations connected to Sauratown. It was located beyond Walnut Cove in the Dry Hollow area of Stokes County. Its history continued beyond the plantation era through tenant farming. The house pictured here was one of several tenant homes associated with Hairston land, reflecting the lives of families who continued to live and work there. In 1817, Sauratown Peter Hairston purchased approximately 2,300 acres along the Yadkin River, making Cooleemee the southern extension of the Sauratown plantation network. He sent his mixed-race son to help establish the plantation, while enslaved people from Sauratown were relocated there to work. The house was built between 1853 to 1855. By 1860, Cooleemee encompassed roughly 4,200 acres and enslaved about 300 people who cultivated crops, raised livestock, practiced skilled trades, and helped build the mansion with bricks made on site. Schools and churches were also established on the property, while a ferry connected the plantation and surrounding communities across the Yadkin River. Across the Yadkin River from Cooleemee Plantation lies Petersville, a Davidson County community established on Hairston land and named for Peter Hairston. The historic Buncombe Baptist Church and Cemetery became a center of faith, family, and memory there. Together, Petersville and Cooleemee reveal how the Hairston network extended across both sides of the Yadkin River. The Hairston's North Carolina network included Sauratown or Hamburg, Cooleemee, Shoebuckle, Muddy Creek, Belews Creek, Old Home, Old Town, Town Fork, South Yadkin, Camp Branch, Column Hill, Buzzard's Roost, Poverty Plains, Burnt Chimneys, and Locust Grove. Enslaved people were moved wherever labor was needed, planting tobacco, tending livestock, repairing buildings, and hauling crops. Their lives were shaped not by one property, but by an entire plantation empire. The plantations were connected, and so were the people. In 1832, Robert Hairston freed 6 people he held in slavery, providing $220 for passage, supplies, and 6 months of support for their journey aboard the Jupiter to Liberia. They arrived in Monrovia in 1833, and records show that several later moved to Sierra Leone, a remarkable chapter in the larger Hairston story. In 1837, Robert and Hardin Hairston led a coffle of 1,000 enslaved people toward Mississippi. Their route passed through North Carolina, where enslaved Hairstons would have watched relatives being carried away. Nearly all were connected by blood or marriage. Cotton expanded the Hairston dynasty, but for the enslaved, it meant separation, hardship, and loss. After the Civil War, Hairston families began new journeys. Some moved from Virginia and North Carolina into growing Winston and Salem, while others traveled to West Virginia, Ohio, and New York. From Mississippi and Alabama, families moved north to Detroit and Chicago, and west to California, carrying family, faith, and the Hairston story with them. When Sauratown Peter died, his probate records listed 626 enslaved men, women, and children. The list then continues with 88 living descendants of Peter and the enslaved Sally Black. More than an inventory, these pages preserve the names of hundreds whose lives and labor built the Hairston plantations. Behind every name was a family, a story, and a legacy that continues today. In this testimony, a Hairston overseer estimated the annual cost of maintaining enslaved children and those unable to perform full field labor at just $15 each. His words reveal the harsh reality of slavery. People were measured not by their humanity, but by their economic value to the plantation and its owners. When asked, how were the Negroes clothed and fed, a Hairston overseer replied, "They were fed on the produce made on the places. Nothing was ever sold, except the tobacco and the surplus of wheat and other things not required for the support of the Negroes." His testimony reveals that the Hairston plantations were largely self-sustaining. The enslaved grew much of the food they themselves consumed, while tobacco and surplus crops generated wealth for the plantation owners. Their labor sustained both the plantation and the people forced to work it. Tobacco was the plantation's greatest source of wealth, producing as much as 85,000 pounds in a single year. But the enslaved raised far more than tobacco. They grew corn, wheat, vegetables, and fruit, tended bees, cattle, pigs, sheep, and poultry, and supplemented their diets by hunting and fishing. Their labor made the plantation both profitable and largely self-sustaining. A typical day for an enslaved person on the Sauratown plantation network began before sunrise and ended after dark. They might labor in tobacco fields, care for hundreds of livestock, build fences or barns, or be sent to another Hairston plantation. Their food came from crops they raised, their clothing was made on the plantation, and each year they received a single blanket. Kinship is at the heart of the Hairston story. If you descend from one Hairston plantation, chances are your family connects to descendants of others. Families moved across Virginia, North Carolina, Mississippi, and the Deep South. Researchers estimate that nearly 4 million Americans living today may trace connections to the Hairston plantations. The Hairston story is bigger than the Hairston name. Across generations, our relatives appear in records under hundreds of surnames, through marriage, maternal lines, migration, emancipation, and family connections. So when researching your roots, don't stop at one surname. Follow the people, follow the records, and follow the family. North Carolina was the middle of this journey, not its beginning and not its end. From Virginia and West Virginia through the Carolinas, Alabama, Mississippi, and across the Deep South, the Hairston story continued. Different plantations and different paths became one interconnected history. Remember the people, preserve their names, follow the rivers, and as we continue searching, sharing, and remembering, continue the story.